Golly, it is hot today. Wicked hot, as the Yankees say. It's one of those icky, stifling, can't breathe kind of hots, can't catch your breath. So here I am, Draggin Junk Home again. It's kind of my identity. I got the DNA mutation in the junk gene location. So this truck, I need this truck to be a dually. I'm not a Ford guy. I own more Fords than I ought to for some reason, but I'm not a Ford guy. And I thought you could just put dually wheels on the back of that before I even knew what 8 on 170 millimeter was for the lug pattern. I didn't realize that these had changed from 8 on 6.5, and I went to put on some dually wheels on the back of it for when I'm overloaded to make it a little safer, and the rims wouldn't go on, wouldn't clear the bolt pattern. So I went looking for dually wheels for a Ford 8 by 170 millimeter, and I drove pretty far, about 2 hours, to find a pair. After quite a while looking, I couldn't find any affordably local, and these are the rims. But anyway, I had drove pretty far, and I was going to pay $50 a piece for them just for 4, so it was going to be $200 just for rims. And I found them. 2 of them were that, 2 of them were not. So I backed out of it saying, hey, you only got 2, what am I going to do with them? But meanwhile, I jacked my truck up, that truck right there, I jacked it up, and I went to put one of the rims on, same as that one. It would not clear the rear axle, wouldn't clear the brakes. So I went and looked around, and there was a King Ranch, whatever, Super Duty dually over there, and I started measuring and comparing side by side the 2 trucks, and it's a totally different rear end. Well, people want $800 for a rear, and I ended up buying this camper from a friend of mine for $300. $300 with 7 of these rims. The tires are a little dry rotted, but they're brand new. There's 19,000 miles on this van. This is a California, not a speck of anything on it. It was rolled over. My buddy bought it for the V10 because he needed one for his service truck, and so he pulled the motor out of it, and I'm selling the tranny for him. But the rest of this chassis is mine. Now, if that rear won't bolt right into my truck, then I'm going to end up building this chassis into my 2-wheel drive, because I have a dump bed, I have a tranny, I have several transmissions, several motors. I got a 460 big block, I got a PTO, I got a PTO pump, a PTO dump valve, an 8-foot Mason body bed. And I was going to build it on an old F350 chassis, an 80-something F350 chassis, but this is a 20,000 mile, much better brakes, much better, just so much better of a frame than what they made in 1982. So anyhow, I'm going to get this, I'm going to work real hard here. Push the button, bump the wheel. Hopefully this doesn't drag the tail too bad. But if it does, who cares? Because it's just junk, and I got a Mini X, the use of a Mini X, to shove this thing up on my trailer. So, let's see what happens. I'm kind of just giving my alternator a minute to bring my battery up. Anyway, I think you can see how this is going to go. In a minute here, I'm going to need both hands, and I'll probably start cussing. I don't want you to hear that coming out of my mouth, so maybe I should sign off here for a minute. Hey folks, I don't know what on earth brings you here today. I'd like to think you got better things to do than watch me do the dumb things that I do with my life. I know what road it leads to, maybe you don't. I know better. It's a fool's errand. I don't suggest that you model your life after mine, but if you want to give me views, hey, have at it. It's a free country. You can watch whoever the heck you want. You know it's good junk when the winch is groaning. That's usually a marker of value. Or a sign of low voltage, either or. I mean, let's not get too carried away here. Make sure we're on track. Oh, you're getting off track. That happens. That happens when you're playing with a phone. Yeah, it's not going to be happy going with that. probably push that over at the mini. I might need to. We got that if we need. Oh, it's just a dually, and they're just wide. Okay, I get it. Well, I guess it is going better than I thought then. Come on, alternator. You got this, come on. Hopefully it don't go rolling off. Looks like we got it. That's some sweet junk right there. Now listen, kids, don't you ever underestimate how much crap will accumulate in your yard when you have a trailer and a truck with a winch and a day off, or a week or a month or a year off. I don't think I've had a job in like 4 years, which means I have a lot of junk, which keeps me pretty busy, so I have no time for a job. It's funny. Anyway, I hope that wasted 10 minutes of your time and you got out of your miserable cubicle world or wherever you're struggling through and entertained yourself, got a little dopamine hit maybe. I won't charge you for that, no problem. It's on the house. Shouldn't be showing you my license plate. You might find my secret identity. Well, I got this chassis up on the trailer and I took the cab and swung it down on the ground so that I could put these, see these rectangular steel sections here? There's two of them. There's one on that side and one on that side. They were a big steel roof rack off of a 2-ton truck utility bed, which I actually just sold for my friend. The friend is the guy who I bought this stuff off of, but I sold a bunch of stuff for him to help him out. And kid just come down from about 3 hours away to buy the bed. We got the bed loaded, and now I've kept the roof rack for myself. And I believe that I'm going to try to make a utility trailer out of it, because I got a lot of C-channel for the cross members, but I have the steel for the main frame for the trailer, and I have the axles, but I've only got 5 6-inch I-beams left, and I kind of have plans for them, and I don't want to part with 2 16-footers for the main rails. So this kind of for free, it makes up a utility trailer, and honestly it might work out pretty well for me because I do not have any trailer with the sides on it. It'll be a fender style, you know, low axle, not a deck over, but a drop spindle type. And whatever, I'm gonna swing this cab up on here, see if I can't get this strapped down, and pretty sure it'll be legal height, but make sure of it, and then make sure I don't take down any utility poles. And then I get home and see what my kids are up to. Well, I got that heap all loaded up. Now we're gonna go see if there's any power lines that are below 11'6". Let's go.